guys, figured I'd give you a little update on the Cadillac. I've been working on it. Decided to build a little bracket deal, weld to the fender, and go ahead and try and pull it out. It was pushed in pretty hard before I removed the fender to do the body work. I wanted to pull it out, so I went ahead and set up my camera and got that, and then we're going to go ahead and update with some of the body work on the fender. All right, so fender's off of it here. There's about half a dozen screws holding that damn fender on, and the inner fender is attached, it's welded to the fender, so everything comes off all as one piece. So it was kind of a pain in the butt, but I got it off of there. Down here you can see where the old battery tray was, so I just been sticking the battery that we have. Since this motor's been changed, I went with a bigger battery that was correct for the engine out of a 63, and I just putting it up in the front here in front of the radiator. But eventually the plan is to hopefully be able to build a little bracket here, get rid of that one, and mount the battery back there where it's supposed to go. I may have to modify the inner fender a little bit so it'll clear, but future plans. Anyway, yeah, so we got this fender off of here. All right, so here we are. I've been working on this fender. I didn't get any video of me hammering on it. I didn't figure you guys needed video of me beating on this thing with a hammer and dolly for 2-3 days now, but we're a lot better than we were. As you can see here, this is where I welded the pieces on to pull the fender out, and you remember from the video how crushed in it was. You can see that body line. It's come out pretty good. It's not perfect by a long shot, and it's pretty wavy, but most of this is fairly flat now. From the factory, that thing's almost flat as a board, so it's a real pain to get it back. I've had to heat shrink it a little bit, and it still needs some more work, but you can kind of see in the reflection it's not real. It's got some waves in her here and there, but it, man, compared to what it was, considerably different and better. There's a big old dent right here. That's up to the top of the fender up here. Hard to see in here, but there was a big dent right here in the front of the headlight bucket. That's come out now. Brought it out. It still needs a little bit more love, but for the most part, it came back out. So yeah, I've just been trying to get it back. You can kind of see up top here, that was where it was all crunched in. That was the bad spot. I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to hold the fender, but that body line too ran down it. So, interesting thing about it, so this here, I don't know what Cadillac was thinking, but this is why I can't just get a replacement 56 fender for it. I mean, I can, and we may still do that, but this section here, so you can see up here, is stepped, right? And it has trim holes in it, but for whatever reason, Cadillac wanted to use, I believe it's 54 trim on the commercial chassis for your limos, your ambulances, hearses, things like that, the commercial chassis. So they changed the fender. So this piece goes in here. You can see the line. There's a step on the other part here. See if I can get this kind of held into place. There we go. That gets spot welded all along here. They just sliced a 56 fender off where the trim holes are, so that they could use this section. And I guess the reasoning being is right here, I think on the 56 has a step in it for the trim, and this is flat for a 54 trim. So they added this little piece on and spot welded it on there to be able to use the 54 trim. So I was able to pull that off. It needs some repair up here, it's rotted out, but I think I have lined up a 56 fender. I think I can slice it off just like they did. You can see the half a trim hole there where they, right there's another one where they just sliced the sheet metal right down the trim line. I can cut off the 56 fender and then hopefully just use the lower section of that 56 fender. I'm hoping it has the same dimensions as this, I'm not sure, but hopefully it's enough that I can make a patch panel and replace that, and then we'll just weld this piece back on like it was so that we can use the 54 trim on it. Kind of makes for a real pain in the butt, but I'll tell you what, I don't know. Very interesting the way they did things back then. Why couldn't you just use a 56 fender with the 56 trim on it? I don't know. But speaking of trim, let's go over here. I don't think I'm going to use it, but here's our trim. I did straighten it out. So you can see there, she's definitely not perfect. Maybe with a little work I can make it a lot nicer, but I don't know if you remember the other pictures, that thing was like flat and crushed and everything else. It's got a little bow to it still. For some reason right there it's still stretched a little, and I don't know if I can get that out or not, but yeah, surprising though. I was kind of amazed at myself that that thing came out straight again with a, actually has the V to it. It ain't perfect, but I put it back in there and got it back not flat. So anyway, I guess it could be, I could keep working on it a little bit. We could sand her out and probably polish it, and it would actually you could probably actually put it on the car just if you didn't have any other trim. If that was all you had, you could put it on there just to make it look right, so it didn't have a big ugly spot on the side of the car, but it obviously isn't a nice piece. So that's what we're going to do, is hang on to it just in case we need that. But I'm going to be on the lookout for a piece of 54 fender trim, because I've been told by a gentleman that's been helping me out a lot, Cad Cliff from a Cadillac webpage. He messaged me and we've been talking back and forth. He actually has a ambulance commercial chassis, and he was explaining to me what was going on there. Kind of, he didn't realize what they did really. He just knew that they did something different for the trim. So when I got into it, that's when I found that lower piece was spot welded on, and the aha moment was there. That's what they did right there to get that flat part. And he was saying I'd have to modify a fender to get it flat so that the trim would work, but being as I have that piece, I think we can put it back on and save ourselves a lot of work. And it looks like I say, they you know, you can see the holes here now that I took that piece down, but yeah, it's sliced right where the old trim holes were. And I looked at a picture of a 56 fender, and counted all these trim holes, the actual trim holes, and it has the same number of trim holes for the trim clips that this has, that's cut off. And then the commercial chassis one uses a few less than the factory one. So yep, they just sliced it right down there. So I'm gonna have to measure and figure out what I need right there and just slice it off. It looks like, you know, I don't know, shit, quarter, maybe a little more, quarter of an inch or so that they went up from the belt. There's a little bit of taper right here. It kind of curves and there's a line. So, you know, I don't know, quarter to a half. Then slice that thing off all the way down nice and straight and weld that new piece on, and then the trim covers up that, when you put the trim on, it'll cover up that seam where they put the two together. So, and then we'll fix this up here where it's all rusted out. This is a piece of the old fender. It's gonna get ground off of there, and I'll clean this up, and then we'll see here where this just goes back and gets welded back to it. So, but I had to pop that all loose to get that panel out. And this inner fender, that's another fun thing. So, let's see. There. So this is another thing. This inner fender, it looks like two pieces, but it's not. It is welded, spot welded all the way in there. Spot welded all up along the front here. You can see here. It's welded, that whole inner fender, so you can't remove it. So it's been a real pain. It's been in my way the whole time. I could cut it out of there and re-weld it, but I just don't really want to do that. It's a lot of work. So this piece here got buckled up and it's a little rusty. I'm gonna have to straighten it up, and I don't know what we're gonna do. Maybe add some pieces back up in here where it's rusted and patch it. But yeah, I just keep moving it. You can see where it used to go right here, and I bent it forward a little bit so I can clear to make room. But yeah, it's a real pain in the butt to work around. So, but hopefully we can get her done there. It ain't gonna be too bad. Like I say, it's the new fender comes with a new, you know, obviously inner fender because it's welded to it. So I'm kind of thinking, even though I've been working on fixing this one, it's good practice, and maybe we'll keep this one for a spare backup in case we need it. You never know. But the new one will have a new inner fender and all that and be straighter, and yeah. Look at stuff like this. Look at that. That's a factory weld they added. Like welded in a piece or did something. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's a factory piece welded in there. Pretty interesting, all the stuff they did. So anyway, that's all I got for now. Just a little update, and I guess I'll see you again when we have a little more info on this and some more update on it. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Take it easy.